Hi there. This cigar is Cuban cigar, Romeo and Julieta. Welcome back to the smoking lounge. The first thing I like to do is to raise a glass to an old friend, Sam, who donkeys years ago I sort of used to help out when I was hitting my targets, and I used to split my commission 50-50 with him from on my deals and let him accredit the deals to his own targets because he was just starting out in the industry. Back then, I was in billboards and I was, performing quite well, getting a lot of billboard sites. I'd hit my target for the year in September, so it didn't matter whether I made more stuff like that. So I sort of just helped him along. Anyway, I'm raising my glasses to him now because I just found out that his company has been bought, of which he was a 75% shareholder, and he's made quite a few millions. So I'm really, really pleased to hear about that. Many people ask me, why did I not stick with billboards? And the reason I was earning a lot of money in billboards back in the day. And it's interesting because although everyone wants to make and earn a lot of money, I think we all have our particular levels of money, what we like to earn. And back then, I was earning way above the level I needed. Not to say I wanted, but I didn't know what to do with it. I wasn't that greatly materialistic, didn't want to buy houses or brilliant cars. Just got bored of billboards. It just didn't excite me any longer. I was getting a bit too nerdy in it. I mean, if I ask you right now, what was the last billboard ad you'd seen? Probably like me, you'd have no idea. And that's the funny thing about the billboard game. It represents about 10% of advertising revenue. And yet the only memorable billboards I can remember are the Wonder Bar uh, advert. Hello, boys. Remember that? 1 second. He's back. He's back. Who's old enough to remember that advert? Wouldn't be able to get away with that now. No chance. And then even before then, there was the Benetton adverts, which were really great, I thought. And then, of course, you had the cigarette adverts, Silk Cut, very artistic, very surrealist. Um, Nowadays, most billboards are just nondescript, and I was just getting too into it. I just didn't want to do it. I severely digress, sorry, but I was just really pleased, and I raised my glass again to Sam, who's made his like more than a few million. Mm. Another thing about billboards is all the millionaires I know made their money in billboards, not in the financial markets, not doing trading, which I bullshit have been doing for a bit. Today, what I want to talk about is a couple of things, important things in a way. Ukraine. Anyone who's been following or has an awareness of the Ukraine conflict between Russia and obviously Ukraine uh, should not miss Professor John Mearsheimer's account of it and his rendition of what is going on out there. It is an absolute disaster, obviously, for Ukraine. Boris Johnson has got a lot to answer for, dissuading them from having any peace agreement with Russia. Uh, that's resulted in tens of thousands of Ukrainians and Russians dying in a war where the outcome was already predictable. The outcome was already done. Yeah. Putin has won the war or the conflict, and his aims have been secured. This peace treaty is just face-saving exercise, I think, for America to try and show that it's got some influence in the area. But in all honesty, America is, pardon me, disinvesting in Western Europe because they doesn't see Russia as the threat anymore. They see China as the threat, which, to my mind, China isn't a threat. You know, when was the last time China invaded anywhere? Yeah, and even when it sort of saber rattles against Taiwan, that is an ongoing situation with the civil war between the nationalists and the communists, where most of the nationalists fled to Taiwan, yeah, and formed their own sort of company or region there, country, not company. But the net effect, if you like, with Trump and his attitude towards the Ukraine is that Western Europe, the EU and Britain has been running around realizing that it can no longer rely on its big brother, sort of America, for their foreign policy rules. Yeah. And so now they've realized that they're going to have to increase the defense spending. Now, where does that put us really as Johnny Citizen? Yeah. Because they keep on talking about austerity, they keep talking about 2008, they talk about 22 billion black hole. Yeah. And now they want to increase defense spending. But I ask you, defending against what? Russia has no intentions, by the way, of expanding itself beyond Ukraine. We were the ones who were pushing Russia into this particular war, this conflict. And I've done a video of it about 3 years ago as to what I thought the outcome was going to be. And if you look at that video, literally what I was saying is actually coming into pass at this moment in time. Russia's going to get and secure the lands which it was going for, which is mainly Russian ethnic Russians who are in Ukraine. Ethnic Russians account for 1/3 of Ukrainians, yeah, and Russia secured those lands because Ukraine was actually persecuting them. Um, Russia doesn't want NATO on its doorstep because it sees it as a threat. We always knew that people in the BAOR, which is British Army of the Rhine, in regards to the buffer zones of the former Warsaw Pact, yeah, where they looked upon those countries which they did not remove their military after the Second World War because they figured that at no point would the rest go into Russia again after losing 28 million of its citizens without having to go across countries which were sort of like buffer zones. Yeah. And at the end of the Cold War in 1989-90, yeah, and a lot of these Warsaw Pacts sort of came out of the Warsaw Pact and into Europe, and now a lot of them's come on board into the European Union. Yeah, those buffer zones have shrunk, and shrunk, almost up until its doorstep. If you look at Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, that is right on Russia's doorstep. Yeah, but they don't worry too much about those particular areas. But Ukraine is something different. Already, we're hearing stories more about the corruption in Ukraine, and that is where our money is going. And I'm not even talking about the fascist Nazi battalions, as of battalions in Ukraine, which we have been funding. At the same time, they've been going down on our citizens, patriotic citizens, calling them far right. Mrs. Jones across the corner, who's upset that she can't use English language to buy her groceries anymore. You can't buy poppy in the newsagents anymore because that newsagents don't stock them anymore. Why? Because the imam in the local mosque told them not to stock them. Yeah. And they've been calling people far right. And at the same breath, they've been funding fascist organizations in Ukraine. Yeah. In this proxy war against Russia using our money. Yeah. For the blood of Ukrainians. And then Ukraine has been acting like a dystopian, they don't have the manpower, so they've been going around grabbing any men they can, yeah, to push them up to the front. Front with, it's just a meat grinder, really. It's really sad indeed. And we, the British Army, what are we going to do? Yeah, I mean, what is the point? What is the point of an army? No, I'm asking you now. What is the point of an army? To protect our borders? To protect threats? Yeah, in our culture, in our system. Why aren't they on the beaches? Yeah, because that's the other news, isn't it? That's Tomo Tomo Dan. Is it Danny Tomo? Should I say? Yeah, and his heroic his team have done more about stopping illegal migration than the 850 million pounds which our government has given to the French. And they've just gone there with a small team, recce team of about 4 people, a couple of drones and some Stanley knives, and prevented, yeah, people coming over in boats. People, seriously, the government is taking a laugh. They're having a laugh, yeah. Instead of sort of having big NATO exercises, which is costing the taxpayer millions, millions along the Russian border to try and flex to Russia, like we can do anything if it wants to do anything, and Russia doesn't want to do anything anyway. Yeah, we should have just had one company, a battalion strength of soldiers patrolling the beaches of Normandy, stopping these people in their boats, in their tracks. That would have been far cheaper. And the net with what, yeah, as you might have noticed, I had an invite to the number 10, funny enough. And previous to that, I had a beard. And for some reason, I decided I was going to shave my beard off. I thought it looked a bit unkept to me in military sort of stuff or whatever. So I shaved my beard off. Where am I going with this? I'll tell you where I'm going with this. I've had to restart growing my beard from scratch. Now, I ask you, do I have a beard or do I not have a beard? Okay, let me break this down. Yeah. You see, how many hairs does it take to have a beard? Okay, have I lost you? Okay. How many illegal immigrants does it take before our country is no longer recognizable to the country what it used to be? Yeah? One or 1 million or 100 million. Okay? Yeah? One hair, two hairs, three hairs, or 100 hairs. How many does it take to make a beard? Because this is what's been going on. Slowly, but slowly, but slowly, different rules and different changes in our culture are happening to accommodate people in here who shouldn't even be here in the first place. And it's all been, as that Danny Tomo has shown, it's all been facilitated by successive governments. So it doesn't matter if it's blue or red, yeah, or green nowadays, and yellow. Yellow operative word, yeah. They're all doing the same. They're all facilitating it. Now you have to ask the question, Cubono, Cubono, why are they facilitating the death of our nation? To me, the answer goes back to, and this is where the left and the right are actually in agreement. It's about keeping the power structure in place. What is the power structure? The power structure is capital and capitalism. I'm sorry if I'm talking like a Marxist or a communist. I'm not actually. I'm quite liberal, believe it or not. The whole point of having mass immigration, whether it's illegal or just under the radar type, bringing your family over and everybody else in, the whole point of it, like they don't care about the cultural consequences. And please stop talking about immigrants saying, "Oh, they don't pay any taxes." Just because you don't pay any taxes does not make you a citizen or patriot of this country. So stop trying to damn people and turning citizenship into consumerist uh, or tax paying. Yeah, it's about cultural integration. It's about whether or not we are integrated into this culture. Yeah, I'll give you an idea of cultural integration, if you like. Two big men actually died this year. Funny enough, or this week. One was Peter Whittle, which is quite sad because I used to see him occasionally on YouTube, and he was a good articulate speaker. And he's around the same age as me, and he's passed away. Got short notice cancer announcement, and he's passed away literally last week. Now the other flip side is Jimmy Cliff, yeah, Jamaican, many rivers to cross, yeah. The harder they come, you can get it if you really want. But that is a real big part of British culture, oddly enough, with the skins and the scar, yeah. And that is the contribution of people who come from other countries who are fitting in and giving stuff back to the nation. Yeah, my cigar needs to light it up again. So I'm getting lit up at this moment in time. I'm just talking and rambling. No one's watching, so it doesn't matter. Ha- Cheers to Dano and his team because they are achieving what this government is refusing to do, and they've shed a light. One of my um, one of my mottos, put this here actually. One of my mottos, um, family motto, is knowledge dispels fear. And the amount of intel which Dano and his recce team have brought and shown to the public is amazing. It's amazing. It's shown that this is a very well orchestrated thing. There's nothing to do with smuggling gangs and all this palaver, what they're talking about. It's got everything to do with NGOs, non-government organisations who are facilitating people coming over here, giving them the rubber, but well, virtually giving them free meals. Where are they getting all these? Where are they getting all these life jackets from? There must be some particular shop or outlet making a profit on life jackets and inflatables. And Tomo has actually shed a light on it. He's done some intel, his team. I'm talking about Tom. When I say Tomo, I'm talking about the whole team because they're all just good. They're heroes in my eyes. I've long said that you could put a stop to all of this stuff, yeah, with a box of Stanley knives and just sorting out some of these so-called inflatables, illegal inflatables, by the way. I mean, if you see a getaway car and you puncture its tires, should you get in trouble for criminal damage for preventing a robbery? Therein lies the question. Do you get where I'm coming from? If you do something to stop an illegal activity by doing something which I don't know is ambiguous, I don't know. Where do you stand? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Can you get done for criminal damage for damaging and putting a puncher in a getaway car to stop it from assisting in a robbery? Can you get in trouble for slicing up and puncturing a rubber dinghy which is going to be used for illegal activities. Yeah. And who is supplying that rubber dinghy? Because whoever's supplying it is obviously supplying it for something illegal. I don't know. But what I do know is that there's a lot of people went over on a regular basis. Yeah. That would stop this whole thing. But what is, Q Bono? Q Bono, why do they want all people coming in? And to me, it's because they want to suppress wages. They want the wages to be suppressed, keep the prices down, because that helps the capitalists. That's what really helps the capitalists. Low wages, yeah? And that's been very successful. Everything's going up, except for your wages. Thinking about, something like 30 years ago, I was on basic of about 25 grand, OT about 50 grand. And then recently, I was looking for some job and they were saying, oh, yeah, like a basic was like 25 grand. I'm like, what? So I was getting 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I was getting that. Wages have been suppressed. Asset prices are going up. Yeah. Whether it's housing, whether it's food, or any other thing, it's all going up, except for your wages. And that's because of the doctors and engineers which are coming over into the country and they're being housed in barracks. For what? They don't care. Because then you've got like the AI situation coming around, yeah, and that also is going to reduce jobs. That AI is powerful stuff. I'm not going to swear, but it's powerful stuff. All this take a letter, Mrs. Jones. It's over with. You don't have to take a letter, Mrs. Jones. I'll just speak it into some, what's the name? It takes my words from the voice and they draft letters. Yeah, that's going to be reducing more employment. Only not blue collar, it's going to be white collar being reduced. So that would say that we're a bit top heavy on the population, even though it's declining. And even though the population is declining because of the recessions what happened in the 80s, so people thought the future prospects of a family was very grim, so they held back on having babies. And that's why we've got that really funny shaped pyramid, what goes where there's more baby boomers than there are ex-Jenners. Yeah. And that means that there is a bill to pay in regards to the pensions. And those pensions is a big problem for the government because they need to honour them, but they want to tweak it, and so they increase the age to make sure that they know how many people are going to die before they pay it out. And in the meantime, they're going to be filling and filling and filling it, pushing you all to get your private pensions so you can absorb the risk. Yeah, and this is why I'm talking about the left and the right. You need to get together because we've got the same concerns. Yeah, the left got to understand that the people who are concerned about this country are not communists, they're not fascists, they're not far right. And then the right needs to understand that those people on the left, in all honesty, some of them very naive, yeah, they are right in regards to the exploitation of large companies. Yeah, this is a Romeo and Julieta cigar, Cuban. I like it. There's a shop, by the way, in Liverpool Street. It's called the Cigar Shop. The Cigar Shop, or the Cigar of London. Really, really good cigar shop. It's on the way Middlesex Street, yeah, on the way towards Petticoat Lane, on the left-hand side. It's a small shop. It's recently opened up. It's brilliant. Before you'd have to go to Jermaine Street to get your cigars. The only thing is, like the symbolism they've got on this cigar, sort of London, it's like some Groucho guy when it should have a guy in a bowler hat. But they sold me some Nicaraguan cigar and it was lovely. It was really, really nice, really nice. Obviously, slightly cheaper than Cuban, but it was really nice. And I'm going to go back for more. I'm going to get New World and I'm going to get Old World cigars. So I just want to talk about That element of what uh, Danny Tomo's done is fantastic. People talking about civil war. The algorithm keeps talking about civil war, and that's making people post content about civil war. And I think civil war in this country is going to be a bit problematic. Problematic because who's the enemy, really? Hey, please, I hope you don't think I'm the enemy simply because I'm my color. Yeah, because that'd be a massive mistake for you. And then there are people over there saying, well, I can't, I'm British, but I can't be English. Why is that then? Because, you know, England is like goes back generation after generation. How many generations does it take to go back? Because my granddaughter, yeah, she's English. It's not about the color of your skin. That's why in America you can be all sorts of colors, but you're still American. Yeah. The only true Americans they say is the American Indian. Yeah. Countries are political entities. What holds them together are their cultural values. That's what's very important. The cultural values of the country. Binds us together. And if you don't have those cultural values, then yeah, you're not a part of the country. You're not a part of the country. That's what I think. This is Dubonnet. I love it. I'm not very sophisticated on whiskey. It's too technical for me. I'll raise that glass to Danny Tomo and his team. I think there should be more teams going over there. Now, I don't think that we should feel powerless at the moment. I was watching another video recently, and the brilliant phrase came up. It said that the digital ID is the cage, and digital currency and CBT, wherever it is, from central bank digital, getting rid of cash completely is the lock. Yeah. And then we're going to replace rights with permissions. Yeah. So now we've got proposals coming in that there's been a backlog. It's a massive backlog caused by the COVID, yeah, of court cases. So as a consequence, we need to get rid of stuff which was written down in the Magna Carta, yeah, about trial by juries. It's a great idea that we just, get rid of that backlog, yeah, get rid of the trial by jury, yeah. Can you see where this is going? Can you see where this is going? Because then you're going to get political judges, and they're going to throw you in jail. They're going to throw your ass in jail for anything that goes against the system, not the law, the system. Happened the other day, the other time, didn't it? The Stockport or Southport riots. Political judges just going around handing out sentences like confetti. And this is the danger. They don't care. You've got to understand that the establishment don't give a tuppenny bit about its citizens. It's about preserving and facilitating the elite, the political elite, the financial elites. When I mean financial elites, got to be careful now because I'm working in this sector. But when I mean financial elites, I'm talking about the proper big boys, yeah, the real big boys up there. It's preserving them, making sure that they retain and keep you down. Now, there's a couple of things what I've noticed. When you had the Unite the Kingdom rally, there was over a million more than what marched. And the official figures would just say, first of all, this is 100,000. Then they knew they couldn't get away with that. So that was 150,000. I don't give a shit because at the end of the day, If people didn't attend, they can throw whatever lies they want to a degree. But when 3 million people attend and 3 million people tell five other people that it wasn't 100,000, that's 5 million people now in the know. Sorry, uh, uh, 15 million people in the know about what is going on. So, what was the net result of that? Now, the establishment didn't acknowledge the power of that march in terms of saying it. The only person who did was Trevor Phillips, to be fair. Another reporter, I can't remember his name because it's a very long name, Jewish guy, long name, wears glasses. But the point is this: shortly after that march, all the political parties were waving and embracing the Union Jack. Did you notice that at their conferences? They were like wrapping themselves in the Union Jack, saying we're British, da 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 da. Yeah, when before they would never do that. They weren't doing that. And then they start implementing policies to start bearing down on immigration. Yeah, trying to say that they're taking it serious. The Essex guys, I knew when it kicked off in Essex, yeah, they listen because us, West Ham territory, yeah, we make our voices heard in a very good way, and it couldn't go unnoticed. So they won't say, they won't acknowledge, but they will change their policies. Likewise with Operation Raise the Colours, yeah, the Union Jacks all over the place, yeah. All of a sudden, everyone wants to wrap themselves in Union Jacks. But at the same time, they were trying to make like the flag was some sort of sign of racism, and it was never like that. It was not like that. Yeah, it was never like that. Now, with a group of guys who've gone over and started slashing some of those boats, yeah, they're bringing up policies where the French are allegedly going to be stopping those boats before they get into the water now. Yeah, so they don't acknowledge what's going on. They see what's going on. You see, Sun Tzu, the writer, the ancient writer, Chinese writer who wrote The Art of War, said you can defend against anything but innovation. And what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people, Tommy Robson and his ilk, as Trevor Phillips would say, yeah, are you and people organising the Operation Raise the Colours. They're using their imaginations, and that is flummoxing. That is really flummoxing the system, and we need to start using our imagination. We need to start using the facilities which are available for us at the moment with the AI to a degree, using a positive light with the social media. I was watching a couple of videos. It's bad of me not to remember the names of the professors talking about how they keep people down, what the rise and decline of empires, etc. Yeah, and the stages in which they go through, and we're in that stage now, the decline, where they're trying to come up with stupid wars, yeah, to try and divert us, yeah, so they can then bring in new things and rechange the money and get rid of the debts and get rid of a couple of people at the same time. And we need to be organized because as I often say, Napoleon said, an army is a crowd that obeys orders. And when you have the unity in the communications, which we have that facility to do, we can flex a lot more muscle. Stop thinking about your vote. As Ken Livingstone said, yeah, if voting changed anything, it would be illegal. It would be illegal. Yeah. So you need to be a lot more innovative in regards to how we get control and power back in regards to, living our lives and retaining who we are. We have got more power than we realize. That simple thing, seriously, this Danny Tomo thing, I love it. It's exactly what I was thinking. Go over there, cut a few blokes down. That will stop them. That will stop people coming over. But you can go broader than that, a lot broader than that, on many different levels. And I'm not talking about just things like immigration and stuff like that. I'm talking about the working environments. I said to a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, that when the COVID came in, I said, you know what? The office is dead now. Office is 20th century. We're seeing the change of that. And sure enough, got work from home, remote things, Teams meetings, Zoom meetings. Yeah, it's all happening now. Yeah, so things are changing. We have got to change too. Citizen journalists, great stuff. We've got to ramp it up. Maybe have an association of citizen journalists with certain standards. Yeah, and insurance policies whereby if one gets done, you can get defended, etc. Representations. We're uncovering a lot what the mainstream media won't touch, won't talk about. Yeah, and they can't hide it. It's harder to hide now. This is what you've got to keep on doing. I'm gonna smoke this cigar in peace. Maybe I'm rambling on, and I don't care now. Nobody watches these videos anyway, and I'm just venting out, speaking what's on my mind with my cigar. Okay, gents, ladies and gents, I'll see you on the other side, and that's it. That's it from me. Over and out. If I can.